Commuting could be about to get a whole lot quieter after Uber announced they're trialling a new feature that'll let passengers mute their drivers by pressing a button in the app to let the drivers know, as they arrive to pick up their client, they don't want to talk.
Yeah. Now, critics say it's proof that the art of conversation is dying, for heaven's sake. Others say it's a triumph for those who just want a little bit of peace and quiet, because the world is getting noisier and noisier than ever. Well, joining us now is reality TV star and former hairdresser Bobby Norris, who says there's nothing worse than idle chat. Bobby? And Corrie legend Amanda Barrie, who says a mute button is the height of rudeness.
Oh!
Isn't it?
It's disaster.
Isn't it?
Having a mute. If you had... I can't imagine going towards the car and going to get in. And does the driver think, oh, my goodness, she doesn't want to speak to me because she doesn't like me, so you press a mute button? Typical Uber, they don't have dogs and they work with sat-nav.
No, but you would have,
I wouldn't wear them at all.
You would have pushed the button before you've got into the car, so I think it would be ruder to sit in the back of the car halfway through a chat and say, do you know what, I don't really want to talk to you. At least they know what they're signing up for. When they rock up before you even get in the car, they know this person might not want to talk.
Yes.
Some of us would sit in a car for an hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes going to work. Now, that's a lot of valuable time. You could be doing your emails, you might be getting, just thinking what you've got planned for the day. People use taxis to hospital and back, so you might not always be in the best...
If I'm going to hospital, I'd be so happy to be talking to the black cab driver because they're full of wonders.
So you use black cabs?
I use black cabs.
But they have a button already. They have a button in the back of the cab. But, of course, you can press it.
Darling,
you
not
can.
in a million years. I mean, at my age, you start thinking, listen, darling, it's going to be very quiet when you've gone. You're not going to have anybody to talk to when you're lying there. I'd much rather be talking to people right now.
So, Bobby... I wonder if, actually, there's many a driver that would like to press a mute button for the passenger. Certainly when I'm in the car.
Two-way?
It's a two-way street. And actually, Bobby... That's sort of the point, isn't it? That for people who are in the service professions, sometimes they can feel rather pressured to make conversation. Because we always are curious, aren't we, when we go to the hairdresser, why they ask you, have you booked your holiday? And they do. It's not just a cliche, they do. Oh, right. But there's a reason for that, isn't there?
Yeah, when you're trained to be a hairdresser, you're taught you don't talk about politics, you don't talk about religion, so you keep things very generic. It kind of leaves weather and holidays. And as an ex-hairdresser myself, you can tell within about 5 minutes whether your client wants to talk or not. Some might just want to sit and read the paper, read a magazine, close their eyes and relax. So I can be really honest, I never went home and cried into my pillowcase if my client didn't want to talk to me one day, and I don't think these drivers will be that bothered because they're going to do... Really? Not everyone's going to push the button, and I think there's nothing worse. What's the first thing? You had a busy day.
More of a society where we don't talk to each other. Yes. We're always talking about increased loneliness, particularly for older people, for whom taking a taxi ride or popping to the shops might be... No, I was not. I was not. How dare you? You know, who might feel that they need, to get that contact. And you've got self-service checkouts, you've got more and more people doing things online. Isn't it rather nice to have a chat and have the option?
Yes.
I think it depends if it's a two-way street and whether it's a genuine conversation. To me, there's nothing worse than talking for the sake of talking and it's disingenuous, or someone might talk to you about something you ain't got an idea about. So someone will go, oh, you've been keeping up with it? And I'm like, what, the Kardashians? And they're like, no, Brexit. Well, I don't understand Brexit, babe.
Well, not many people do, but you're not alone, Bobby. You're not alone.
So Brexit.
I think
they haven't a clue. But you see, the thing is, you don't pick up any knowledge unless you talk. I mean, I've been educated by black cab drivers. How many people know why Nelson is looking to the right?
In Trafalgar Square?
I don't know. Why?
Do you not know?
No.
But if you look up all the flagpoles there, right down to the palace, have got Nelson's fleet on them. They've got each of the ships all the way down.
So he's looking at his fleet?
Yeah, he's looking at his fleet with his good eye.
And there are things that we pick up, Bobby, along the way that we could miss out.
Yeah, it's funny, I thought a lot of people would be backing the art of conversation and saying how important that is, but a lot of people getting in touch really like the idea of the mute button. Greg says 100% for this in cabs would save me putting my earphones in and pretending I'm on a conference call to get some peace. Lisa says when my partner's in the hairdressers and is asked how he'd like his haircut, he says in silence, please. And Leah says fabulous this idea. Can this ingenious idea be introduced in the home?
Yes.
Well, I have to say,
Oh,
my husband
I
often
hate
says,
it.
I must book a conversation with you when you're at the dentist. Because that's the one place where you can't answer back.
Can't answer back.
Yeah.
But I think it's disaster.
You think it's a disaster? You wouldn't like it, Amanda?
I actually think that a lot of people that would like to press the button, and a lot of people that are saying they want the silence, they are too lazy to have a conversation. It's just a bit too much effort on their part to just find out about the other person.
That's
And take
interesting.
an interest. We could have a chat with you all day, Amanda.
Okay,
we
darling,
love
that's
it.
fine.
We love it. But
I'm
we have
pressing
got
my
to
button.
go.
She's pressing the button right now.
Exactly.
That one about the phone call. A friend of mine had somebody famous. He was in his cab, and the guy, and he was having a chat, and then the person said, someone we know actually picked up the phone. I've just got to take this phone call. Picked up the phone call, and he was chatting, and then his phone rang while he was while he was chatting, and my mate knew.
Is this you when you're like, yeah, a friend of mine?
I'd love it to have been me. I'd have owned it.